here we go. Thank you for coming. I'm really glad we have so many guests here today. I'm gonna ask maybe a little bit difficult question for the beginning. Like, why are you so interested in blockchain? What was the trigger of your interest in blockchain?
The trigger was different for everybody. I'm going to speak for myself. So I was involved in a blockchain by my friend Natalia, and that was about 3 years ago. Her son got interested in it, and we followed him basically by just installing a wallet and playing with some cryptocurrencies. And after that, we learned the technology, and we were fascinated with it. And also we noticed that we started going to the conference, and we noticed that there's not a lot of women in there at all.
Okay.
Maybe there was just only 1-2 of us, that's it. We decided to change that.
So basically it was your son, Natalia, who got you to blockchain.
Yes, I think, not just me, but a lot of people. Absolutely right. So I learned about I heard about the Bitcoin first from my son. And in the beginning, I thought it was some, game that the kids of his age are playing. And later on, it was, I think, about maybe 2013, 14, I started to hear more about, all the dark net and Silk Road and how people, maybe criminal people using the Bitcoin. And I heard the word Bitcoin again, and I was like, oh, I need to look into it, because is it my kid involved in it? Like, do I need to be worried? And I started reading about it more at that point of time, and I realized, oh, it's actually very cool technology. And then, as Elena mentioned, later on, we just decided to get more women into the space.
Okay. What about you?
And me, I started in the space about 4 years ago because I was involved in business and public companies, and we were looking at, actually before even people talked about equity tokens, but we're going to do an asset-based crypto, and before Ethereum was launched, and we were kind of waiting for Ethereum to be launched so we could tag on and go on the coattails, because this was kind of a platform that would allow you to do that. But we're already a public company, and then it was too difficult in terms of regulations, because nobody really back then we didn't even have a word for equity tokens at the time.
Yeah.
And really ICOs. So it was kind of pre all this ICO craze and all the regulatory issues that we have today.
How much has it changed since you've started this whole CryptoChicks stuff? Like, I guess you've learned a lot about cryptocurrencies and blockchain generally.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Definitely. We learned a lot. We taught a lot. And we also did now lots of events and conferences and hackathons as well to involve other people and to teach other people technology. Well, not the crypto per se, the technology that interests us.
Yeah. You all said like there were not no women, but almost no women in that crypto business, let's say then. So was it kind of like feminist thing to get more women involved?
I think it wasn't necessarily, our angle wasn't necessarily feminist. I think for us it was more about, we were looking around and we're thinking, all the opportunity, because the space, creates a lot of opportunities. It's something new, and looking where the whole society goes in terms of, with technological advancements, the job landscape changes as well. And we see more jobs which require, knowledge of technology, some even basic ability to code, and that's where the future lies. So we were looking at and thinking that, we need to make it a level play field for everybody. And women were really behind because, they were behind from the creating a future employment opportunities for themselves. They were behind from the, let's say, investment opportunity, because a lot of guys got into Bitcoin and they got rich, some of them also lost a lot of money, but women were behind on that action as well. So we decided that, first of all, it's more fun when we have a diverse community. And we come from Canada, from Toronto, and Canada is very big on the multiculturalism and diversity. And we really, in that country, see the benefits of how diverse society helps to everybody to, develop and I guess be happier together. So we thought that first it's more fun to bring more women and make it more fun for guys as well. And secondly, the women can learn and, hopefully do something good with that.
And I think, the blockchain community also needs to grow. So it's not about, and if you don't have, if there's a, overall sense that it's, young men who sit in the basement and they program a lot and they are not particularly vocal, I think blockchain offers much more than that. And I think women can be vocal and can be passionate about things, and blockchain, just as a technology, gives them an opportunity to have a voice, both economic and otherwise.
Yeah, you believe that the woman's involvement will help blockchain, and here are a quote, realize its enormous potential as an instrument of positive change in the world. So how exactly you women do that? Like, what's the thing women can bring to the table here?
Women are peaceful creatures, and blockchain is the democratic technology. And I think putting these two together is actually create really good thing for the world, right? So it's socially, right? Right now we have hackathons, and the women come up with this socially good ideas, recycled plastic, feed hungry kids,
document refugees.
Exactly. So
education programs.
Yeah, so it's the different health programs. And we believe that women can bring so much more heart and warmth into the world using this democratic technology that has no boundaries, no borders, nothing. So we can do good for everybody.
So maybe help the tech guys to think out of the technical box a little bit to make it more like from the heart?
Exactly, from the different angle.
Yeah.
Yes, from the different angle. Technical guys, let's do them their technical thing, which they're good at it. And let's ask women to take care of the rest.
Okay.
Not to say that women cannot do technical things.
Of course,
right?
of course.
Yes, but
we're not separated.
Yeah, but I think, it's also just to add to that, I think one of the issues that impedes the adoption of the technology today is maybe a little bit lack of user-friendliness, if anything, right? And I think that's where also a lot of women are good at, in terms of looking at something and saying, how this technology would work for my girlfriends. If we spend hours trying to figure out how to download the wallet and it keep crashing and crashing and crashing, right? So, obviously, and we both have master's degrees in computer science, right? So this is not something that, should be that difficult. So I think it's that.
Yeah.
And also, today is a big anniversary. It's 10 years since Satoshi has published his white paper, and this is, it goes, again, it's a global democracy, trust, I think, without borders. So we want to, if there are gender borders, or, we want to break those.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
I think that goes back to what the intention of all of this was 10 years ago.
And is this business still men-driven? Like, are the women disadvantaged here?
Go to DEF CON. Sorry. It's not per se business, right? So because this is blockchain is technology that nobody owns, nobody has. This is not nobody's business. It's a community. First of all, there are lots of guys in the community. Yes, we just came from DEF CON, and yes, there's lots of them, but I see more girls. I see more women there, and I see the population of the community is more diverse. It means that it's happening. Because
we've met with Natalia in Oslo on Oslo Innovation Week, and as I felt it, there were quite a lot of women there. Even the opening day was quite, and the blockchain part was quite women focused. So from my point of view, then in Oslo, it was kind of equal there. So that's how's the spirit? Are the guys open to cooperate with women and so on?
Oh, I think so. I think, we, as part of our hackathons, the way we typically organize them is the hackathons are for women, but we get a lot of help from guys. They become the mentors who teach the women and girls. They help us with technology. They help us with a lot of things. So I think they're super open and super interested in having more women. So I think our interests very much aligned.
Yeah, and we use Blog Geeks courses as our education foundation. So they got CryptoChicks, Blog Geeks. So there's a lot of synergy.
Yeah,
and Blog Geeks is just for information for the listeners. It's a Canadian educational company on blockchain.
Online.
Yeah. Of course, I hope I'm not sounding like we're talking just about letting girls work with guys. It's kind of course, it's. I'm not trying to sound, how to say, chauvinist, but it's kind of interesting that why have you gathered together? And I like the motto, the CryptoChicks is really catchy. So I like the idea, and I like the idea that you focus not only on, let's say, businesswomen or women entrepreneurs and whatever, but also housewives and grandmothers.
Everybody.
How many grandmothers are interested in blockchain?
You know what? You'll be surprised.
Yeah.
Really?
I'll give you 2 examples, right? So one of the events that we had in Toronto, there was a very cute couple showed up. It was husband and wife. They probably were in their 70s. And they both brought their tablets. And we were, at that point of time, we were going through the different wallets, talking about the security, because in the crypto space, security is a very important issue. So we're talking about security, and we were talking about them using wallets safely. And so it was like one of the most cutest things that you could see. They've probably been together for a long time. They were holding hands, sometimes, and helping each other, sending to each other the Bitcoin. I want to say fake. They're not fake. They're just testnet Bitcoins. It was super cool.
Yeah, and also our first event we organized, very first one. We had about 35 women signed up and showed up to this event. It was 4-story building, and there was a lot of people with canes that show up, a lot of women that are in their 80s that showed up, that we had to physically help up the stairs because the elevator didn't work, right? So quite a lot.
And I think also it gives you the focus then becomes is that how do you get more women interested? And I think we have to start with the next generation. So we're also working in education for kids, and then of course we're not separating. It's not just education for girls, it's education for kids. So part of it is just overall expansion, and I think we started with a real minority in the sector, but we're not just focusing on female. I think next generation is going to give us a lot of solutions, but we have to give them a platform from which to work.
Yeah, the thing is, from what I see is that the blockchain is kind of nerdy for me. Even though I think about myself quite, I'm using quite a lot of technologies and I'm quite open-minded. Still, blockchain and Bitcoin is a little bit out of my box of comfort zone a little bit. So maybe the next generation will use it as we use, I don't know, mobile phones like smartphones now. So, but is there anything which can help to make it more mainstream, let's say? Because that's the thing. Even the Bitcoin is kind of sideways from the mainstream society.
Mm-hmm.
What can we do to change it?
To tell people about it. That's what we do. That's what we do as well. And tell people about it in simple words so they could understand. We build our workshops the way that everybody can understand. And after listening 20 minutes of our workshop, people have this aha moment. Now I got what it is. It's just not only the word blockchain. It doesn't scare me anymore.
I think because the space have been started by the young techie guys. I mean, first of all, they're techie, and a lot of things and jargon that they use, they understand, but nobody outside understands. It's like with HODL, right? So a lot of people, if you step out of the community, HODL, what is HODL? But of course, inside of the community, everybody knows about it, right? But technical words are very much understood within community, but not outside. So when people start talking about, just download the wallet, use this client, use this client, and it's very easy. Well, it's not very easy if you, grandma. So if you want to have an adoption, you need to worry about these parts of the population which are not in the same playing field, right, with the techie guys, and these are, housewives, the grandmothers, and we need to make sure that they all can use technology in an easy and accessible way.
Yeah. So maybe kind of stupid question for the end of the interview, but that was what I was thinking about, like, how can blockchain help us in the real world right now? Like, what is the biggest advantage in the daily life, even for the grandmas?
It all depends on which country you live. For example, if you live in Bahamas, where there's no banking system, it can be as easy as paying your bills. That can use right now, and in all the third world countries, that's the case. That's applicable too.
Okay.
And maybe for the developed world, it's to make a donation to help poor people.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's another one. Refugees right now. So there's the application built on a blockchain that help to track refugees and using the iris scan, so which uniquely can identify the person and put the record on the blockchain, which cannot be forged, not duplicated. So that's something that people can already use.
Yeah, and I think also in advanced countries like in Canada, I just recently came from the conference in the government of Canada. There is a lot of applicable use cases where they are looking as well. Some of them, in financial management, because it cannot be, we use the term immutable, right? Once the record makes it on the blockchain, it's cannot be changed. It's also transparency, right? So governments want to be accountable to the people in terms of how they spend money, and so they are looking into those solutions, and a lot of automations, right? Because the governments these days, a lot of people complain that they're getting too big, right? And so governments like in Canada and America are actively looking at how to make themselves more efficient, and a lot of automation, and that can happen with the use of blockchain, and that's some of the use cases they're looking at as well.
And I think globally, it's first time we have technology that allows us to have trust without borders. Coming back to what Natalia said about being immutable, and that I think applies right now everywhere, because we're trying to keep our safeguard by building walls and borders, and this is a technology that will maintain the trust, but you don't have to create all these structures to protect yourself.
So it's kind of global way to, or the way to global democracy, let's say, without borders, like open source and so on.
Exactly, without governments, yes.
Yeah.
Well, or with governments, but also trust. I mean, a lot of places in the world, people don't trust governments. I mean, we're not saying anything that's new, right? So this is a way of making sure that history doesn't get changed. That's why you have immutable records. That the property that you own, actually you own, rather than you bought somebody's piece of paper that actually was forged. That your credentials that you got from university are true credentials. So a lot of things that we do on a daily basis that sometimes are faked and is not trusted, now can be trusted.
And as I've seen it in an instructional video, it's indestructible, basically.
Basically, yes. Yeah, you can. Nothing can destroy blockchain.
Well, maybe nuclear war.
Maybe nuclear war.
But then we have other problems.
Yeah.
Yes. Bigger ones.
Okay, ladies, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It was lovely to have you here.
Thank you.
Ahoy.
Ahoy.
Ahoy, ahoy.
Nice.